Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. It is Bruce Jordan, the Michael Jordan of hotels. And today I am here with Nilay from Phonesuite in the house, one of my favorite telephone companies for the hotel industry. How we doing today?
Doing wonderful. How about yourself?
Not too bad, not too bad. Here I want to talk about like the technology and what are some of the features and stuff that you guys have that hotels need and what they can do to increase their revenue using those features.
Yeah, absolutely. Phonesuite has been doing this for over 30 years of building guest room technology.
Mm-hmm.
And part of the guest room technology journey is always figuring out two different things, right? Mm-hmm. Not only the guest room experience, but also the actual end user experience on the in-house staff at the hotel itself, right? Mm-hmm. So what we've done is we've taken the best of kind of the back office operations, your general managers, your sales managers, catering, all the back office sales directors, right, sales managers. We've taken that and enabled them for full mobility, full unified communications, the ability to start a telephone call on their desk phone, take it to their cell phone, go home, go wherever else, open it up on their iPad, switch that call around, and give them the best of that. And then we married it with the best of guest room technology, if you will, right? So on our guest-facing side, we do everything from being able to survey them in real time, right? The common property has a big challenge with people checking in and nobody wants to talk anymore, right? Mm-hmm. So we can initiate an automatic call that goes into the guest room that does a survey for them to have them, rate their check-in experience in their room so far, right? Let's just say 10 minutes after they check in. So they can rate it on a scale of 1 to 5, for example. They rate it 3 or below. We can immediately via email, text, pop-up alert on their front desk PC, notify the front desk or the guest services manager or the general manager that there's an issue in room 104, right? And let's get ahead of it instead of waiting for the guest to check out and leave a bad review on Expedia or Google or wherever else that they're leaving.
So let me get this straight. You can actually send a survey when the guest checks in.
Absolutely.
That the front desk doesn't have to call and say,
That's
hey,
correct.
how was your guest experience? Because that wastes a lot of time.
And puts an informal touch in it, right?
There you go. So they could just you can send that to the room. They answer the phone and say, hey, how was the room? And they can rate that experience of the room at check-in when they first get inside the room.
Absolutely.
And we'll know if there's an issue.
Right, absolutely. And then not only that, the next day, the GM can receive a full property sentiment report, right, that shows them the sentiment across all their guests the previous day, right? Mm-hmm. So it kind of gives them an idea of what's going on in the property, what rooms are historically getting bad sentiment after they check in. Maybe there's something wrong in a room, maybe a smell in the room they can't get out or something like that. And we can help identify those trends directly off of our guest surveying feature.
Okay, what makes that so important is that a lot of times when we're getting chargebacks and stuff like that, we don't have any backup to say if that guest had a great stay or whatever the case may be. So we have that report that says this person said this room was great when they checked in. We can send that to the credit card processor as backup, as details for that chargeback. So that's actually an amazing feature.
Yeah, absolutely. In addition to that, we drive a lot of staff accountability, right? So the staff is not answering, certain groups not answering, there's too many calls waiting in line. We can generate real-time alerts, right? So we allow the management of the property itself to receive either a text message or, again, an email alert, mobile app push notification that tells them that there's a problem, right? Maybe the night auditor fell asleep, right? And they're not answering calls. Maybe reservations or guest services is backed up. Maybe the catering team is backed up, or our in-room dining is backed up. We're able to actually identify those problems. Our reports are always amazing, right? Mm-hmm. Our system includes 150 plus reports in it. However, the problem with reporting, right, there's so many different ways to see that, right? I can literally take 150 different metrics and slice and dice the data the way I want to see it, but it's historical, right? So when you look at historical data, I'm looking at a problem I had yesterday or a problem that I had last week, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas with our real-time ability, and you're able to actually take action immediately when the problem's happening, right? So historical data, again, is great, but real-time insights changes the game for staff accountability.
I have the app downloaded on my phone,
right?
So if ever I need to jump in on the calls, I just turn it on and say, all right, I can start taking calls. The other thing is I have it set up so if I'm actually, if it's like night audit and they're not answering the phone, my phone rings.
Right.
So I know, so if my phone is ringing at 2 o'clock in the morning, I know somebody's asleep.
They didn't answer, right? Yeah.
I know somebody's asleep. So that's just an amazing feature, and it's been doing very well by us. Right?
Absolutely. And then our latest innovation is AI, right? Mm-hmm. And although AI is somewhat of an overrated term, right? We've built an AI engine, right? That based on historical data, based on studying what other AI engines are doing, that is really, really, truly an incredible piece of technology. And what it does is, number one, does a bunch of staff augmentation, right? So it allows you to reduce at least 50% or more of the front desk calls that are flowing through. So we're able to answer those calls, whether they're external calls coming into the property, people asking for directions or make reservations, or getting a transfer to a room, and also internal calls, right, that maybe come in. So if it's somebody looking for maintenance, they're looking for room service, they're looking for towels, any of those things, and we can also intelligently not only answer those calls, intelligently route those throughout the property. And what we see a lot of times now these days is that nobody wants to talk to a computer, right? I don't want to talk to a computer myself. But with neural voices and the technology we built now, you can interrupt it, right? You can actually interrupt, have a real human-like conversation with interruption capabilities. We follow context. So if somebody calls in and says, "Hey, what are your restaurant? Do you have a restaurant?" And our AI system responds and says, "Yes, we do. We have 4 different options of the property. What are the hours, right? Do you have vegan options? Do you have gluten-free options, right? And, what are the egg dishes on your menu?" We follow that context instead of resetting, as normal systems would. So it's very, very. It's a very incredible piece of technology, and now we've got it in about 200 hotels now, and we're growing it rapidly.
Yeah, I know you guys are getting a lot of referrals.
Absolutely,
because I'm one of them.
That.
For sure. What does the future hold for Phonesuite?
Yeah, so we continue innovating. We're an innovation first company. We're building out several layers of technology. We've created a open ecosystem platform now, so we're integrating with everybody from in-room thermostats, Wi-Fi vendors, pretty much anything, any guest-facing technology. We started integrating that. So our front desk panel, right, that runs on a computer, pretty much the console, if you will, for telephones, is the second most utilized software technology on the front desk property management system computer, right? You use your PMS first, and then the second thing you use is our console. So what we've done is we've created this open ecosystem where if a guest calls in to the front desk, we do a pop-up right away on the computer system.
Okay.
They can see that guest, see the guest details and records and history. But if they call and let's just say, for example, say, "Hey, we've got my room's really hot." Well, if we have one of our approved and certified interfaces done right with our open ecosystem, they can actually click over on the environment tab and see that the guest just clicked the air conditioner on not long ago, or see that's been running for 3 hours, and actually be able to get further data and insight. Same thing for Wi-Fi. Somebody calls in. Yes, everybody offers a 24/7 Wi-Fi support number, but the guest commonly just dials 0 and they call the front desk and say, "I have a Wi-Fi issue," right? Again, if we're integrated in our open ecosystem, you can actually click over on the Wi-Fi tab and see that there's an unauthenticated device in that room. They can simply click there and say, "Hey, your Xbox is not working." If it still doesn't work, then they can press the button and auto transfers it out to the technical support for your Wi-Fi vendor, right? So essentially, enhancing the guest experience is something that we're really focused on now.
Man, that is fantastic. That's a feature that every hotel needs because people's Wi-Fi like firewall settings are different.
Absolutely.
And it's usually a setting on their laptop or their phone when it comes to their firewall. It's not really the Wi-Fi.
Right.
So that is amazing. Listen, tell everybody how to get in touch with you.
Yeah, we're visit us online at phonesuite.com. You can always email into our sales team at sales@phonesuite.com. We're rapidly growing our platform and our client base. We'd love to work with you as well.
Fantastic. Listen, thank you for being on the show.
Absolutely, thank you.
And as always, this is Bruce Jordan, the Michael Jordan Hotels, signing out. This episode was brought to you by the Hotel Revenue Bible, the #1 hotel revenue book that has ever been written. It includes revenue management, digital ads, social media marketing, sales, catering, F&B, and more. Grab your copy today at hotelrevenuebible.com.